When my boyfriend led the team to win the championship of the college debate competition, my stuttering issue was also exposed by others. His fangirl cornered me in the equipment room, mocking me that I wasn't good enough for him. He used to always be by my side, driving away those who mocked me, but this time, he refused to answer my calls. I was forced to recite tongue twisters, and had soap water poured on me, soaking me through as I returned to the dorm. That's when I found out he was at the celebration banquet, with his teammates, accompanied by a girl from the vocal club. He praised her for speaking and singing like a nightingale. I thought, maybe I should leave. With my mouth full of soap water, as the hand holding my chin loosened, I involuntarily threw up. Hey, listen, she doesn't stutter when she vomits, ha. The mocking laughter echoed. Several people stood around me with masks on, claiming to be James fangirls. They made me recite tongue twisters and threatened to continue pouring soap water if I didn't. I tried to call my emergency contact, but they knocked my phone to the ground and kicked it far away, displaying James' name on the screen. The tension was palpable among the crowd. They all seemed relieved when James hung up the call. Cut it. You thought James really liked you so much. He probably finds you annoying. That's why he hung up, someone said. I argued slowly and deliberately. You nonsense. He has something. When a girl picked up my phone and found James' number, I dialed it again to see if he was avoiding me or if something was really wrong. This time, the call was answered almost immediately. Hello, who is this? I was silenced before I could speak. The girl who made the call blushed and remained quiet. Then, a sweet voice came through the phone. James, come on stage and give a speech. Let us admire the best debater again. James softly agreed in a tone filled with affection before hanging up. They threatened to make fun of me online if I dared to file a complaint, saying they would show everyone that the girlfriend of our school's best debater couldn't even speak properly. Pathetic. I wasn't always a stutterer. I used to speak fluently and recite ancient poems with praise from adults. It all changed when, at the age of 9, James woke me from a nap and we went to play by the river. He fell in and nearly drowned, and I struggled to ask for help, causing my speech to break down into fragments. The doctor diagnosed it as a stress-induced psychological issue that wouldn't be easily cured. James felt guilty and stuck by my side at school, fiercely defending me whenever others made fun of my stuttering. But I gradually spoke less to avoid conflicts due to James' protectiveness. Years passed, and James confessed his feelings for me after high school. We started dating, but I felt isolated without social skills or friends besides him. So when James suggested we stay at the local university together, I agreed. But university life brought its own challenges. James made friends in clubs, but kept me isolated, claiming I wouldn't fit in. I immersed myself in studies, feeling welcomed by knowledge, unlike by people. Now, as my cold exterior was revealed, I faced more intense malice. I began to think that maybe coming here with James was a mistake not just for me, but maybe for him too. The group left after recording videos, and I slowly stood up, walked back to the dorm in my soaked clothes, with my roommates' indifferent gaze following me. Lying in bed, my phone rang with a notification from James. Hey, Nina. I was busy earlier and didn't see your call. Millimeter, don't be mad. I didn't ignore you on purpose. How about I take you to the new aquarium near the school tomorrow? I didn't reply. I stared at the screen for a moment, then typed back slowly. James, I know. You are going to the celebration tonight. Are you worried it'll be embarrassing to bring me along? He was typing on the other end. Then James called. Nina, how could you think that? I just thought you wouldn't like that kind of event. So I didn't want you to go, to protect you. But you took that girl you mentioned before. Fiona, the girl you've talked about multiple times, the one you praised for her singing. I spoke slowly, every word deliberate, unavoidably repeating some words. My roommate looked up at me. Normally, James and I would text for everything, reserving phone calls for very important matters. If he truly didn't see my call, fine. But I knew he did see it. He just didn't want to answer in front of his teammates and Fiona. He didn't want to hear my stuttering voice in a moment like that. Fiona is outgoing, confident, with a nice voice. She's presentable. But I'm not. He thinks I'm not up to par. He thinks I'm embarrassing. James sounded a bit flustered, explaining non-stop. Nina, it's not like that. It's not what you think. Fiona also really enjoyed our game. She wanted to join our event, so I brought her along as a simple favor. Perhaps realizing that excuse didn't hold water, James' voice got quieter, until finally, he sighed deeply. Nina, it's late. Can you go to sleep now? Tomorrow we will go to the aquarium, and I will explain things to you. Apologize. I just responded lightly with a okay. I wanted to talk to him properly, to tell him I wanted to leave this school. But the next day, James was a no-show. I waited at the entrance of the aquarium for over an hour. James was unreachable. Messages I sent vanished into thin air. Call after call went unanswered. I didn't know any of his friends, hadn't saved their contact information. And now, with everything that happened, there wasn't even a shared contact in my phone with James. It seemed that ever since this girl Fiona appeared, James was never by my side. I sat down, hugged my knees, mindlessly scrolling through my phone. Then, at the school's confession wall, I saw a video someone had uploaded. In the video, my boyfriend was hugging another girl. The comments below were full of admiration, saying how touching today's choir performance was. I clicked on the video. Fiona was participating in the campus singing competition today, but when it was her turn to go on stage, she couldn't sing a word. It was as if she had lost her voice. In the video, she stood on the stage, looking lost, as if waiting for someone. After a while, James arrived, rushing to the side of the stage. He asked for a microphone from the staff. James was clear and organized, explaining to everyone that Fiona had been practicing late into the night for this competition, which led to her losing her voice from overuse. He asked everyone to clap along for Fiona, to help her finish singing. James was popular at school. Everyone immediately followed his lead. Gradually, the sound of clapping from the crowd became more and more synchronized, turning the whole scene into a big sing-along. Perhaps feeling relieved, Fiona's voice finally returned, managing to finish the song satisfactorily. Cheers from the crowd were deafening. The atmosphere was lively, even the judges were touched. They said this is the spirit of our school, and they decided to award Nina a special prize. In the video, after Nina finished singing, she immediately ran down from the stage and hugged James. And James stroked her hair gently, his eyes filled with tenderness that startled me. The video ended there, and as the video ended, I finally saw James arriving late. He ran over, his forehead covered in sweat. Sorry, Nina, I'm late. I didn't speak, just quietly staring at him. I was always quiet, that was our dynamic, but for some reason, he seemed more agitated today. Nina, could you please not be so silent? I get nervous when I can't hear your voice. Oh really? I found it amusing. He gets so anxious when he can't hear my voice, and it's not because of his guilt causing the anxiety. I tapped on my phone screen, saying to James, I saw the video. It took James a moment to realize what I meant. His expression was complex, normally logical in his speech, but at this moment, he seemed a bit incoherent. Fiona messaged me suddenly, saying she lost her voice, so I rushed over to help her. You know, today's competition was important to her, and she's never experienced this kind of situation, being watched by so many people. Nina, just think about it. Remember how hard it was for you when you used to stutter in the beginning. How awful you felt. It hit a sore spot. But James clearly didn't realize that, still trying to justify himself. Nina, it was wrong of me to be late, but I just don't understand. Why do you have so much animosity towards Fiona? I know you don't have friends, don't know what friendship is like. But do you have to interfere with my friendships? Do you want me to become like you? Although I stutter, I'm not disabled. I couldn't argue with him verbally, but my actions spoke for me. I opened the seal of my bubble tea in hand and poured it directly onto James' face. One word at a time, I said to James, James, next time think before you speak. Know what to say and what not to say. James just stood there as the tea dripped down from his head onto the ground. He clenched and then loosened his fists. Finally, he gave me a deep look, turned around and walked away. After James left, I received a call from the school office. Hey, the information you submitted to the school before, we need to verify it. Are you sure you want to transfer to another school? This time, I didn't stutter. I firmly replied with 2 words, I'm sure. James and I were in a cold war. He messaged me, suggesting that we both calm down. He still believed that I was too biased against Fiona. Nina, if you can't accept my friend, then I can't accept you, at least for now, he said. He hoped I would understand that life consists of many aspects, and he couldn't revolve around me all the time. He also wanted me to understand how tired he had been all these years. But honestly, I didn't quite get it. I never asked him to take care of me. When I started stuttering in my speech, I didn't feel much at that time. I just thought, maybe if I took a break, it would get better. But James saw me like that, cried his eyes out, and blamed himself for making me so miserable. He even said that if no one else wanted to marry me in the future, he would. Then he confessed his feelings for me, not out of guilt, but out of a mix of childhood friendship and love. I thought we would be together forever. Unfortunately, the world is full of temptations. I sighed and forced myself to ignore these troublesome thoughts. I didn't reply to James' messages. I focused on my transfer to another school. During the waiting period for the transfer, James became engrossed in social activities, and was often not by my side. That's when I started thinking about transferring. I researched online and found out that transferring universities was challenging but achievable. My previous college entrance exam scores met the requirements of my ideal college. With proper arrangements and a bit of funding, it could work out. Even James didn't know that after starting college, I wrote many articles, and some were published in prestigious magazines in China. This not only gave me a decent amount of savings, but also supported my transfer expenses. I wanted a change of environment to see what I could become without him. As I waited for the transfer, James and Fiona's relationship flourished rapidly. They were like conjoined twins. Wherever one went, the other followed. They were always seen walking side by side on campus, talking and laughing, truly like a couple deeply in love. It felt different from when James and I were together since they shared similar interests and hobbies. As for how I could see their interactions, it was because on the first day of our Cold War, Fiona added me. She told me, "Do you know that James has been blaming himself for your situation all these years? His inner turmoil has been ongoing." From Fiona, I learned that James had found a high school classmate online, who had talked about my stutter, threatened him to delete the comment, and claimed it had been painful for James all these years. Fiona asked me to stop being petty and unreasonable, reminding me that I had been a burden on James all along. Fiona got angry when I didn't apologize to her as James had asked me. Our Cold War continued indefinitely. It wasn't until I stepped onto the grounds of another school that James finally realized I was gone. "Where are you? Why did your roommate say you moved out of the dorm?" he asked. I replied seriously, "I transferred to another school." He couldn't believe it. "Are you out of your mind? Why didn't you tell me about such a big decision?" I let out a sigh. "James, I am an independent individual who can choose my own path in life. Transferring schools is not something unreasonable. My grades from my previous university were good enough to get into a better school. I want to pursue that, and there's nothing wrong with it." This was probably the longest string of words I had said since I started stuttering. James listened patiently but disagreed. "Even if you can get into a better school, so what? Nina, you're different from others. You need someone by your side, or you won't be able to even speak clearly. How will you survive in college?" After a moment of silence, I spoke earnestly. "James, I may stutter, but I'm not mute. And even if someone is mute, they still have the right to enjoy their life. It might be a bit harder for them than for others, but I'm not afraid." "You say you're not afraid, but when you get bullied, I'll be the one to sort it out for you. Quickly ask if the school allows you to transfer back." "Nina, can you make it easier for us?" I interrupted his complaints. "James, I already talked to my parents earlier, and they support my decision." It was true. After I started stuttering, I talked less with my parents. They would just watch me at home with aching hearts, speak to me carefully, afraid of touching on things that might hurt me. When I applied to college and said I wanted to go to the same school as James, they didn't object. During the call with my dad just now, he told me, "Nina, your mom and I don't know what's best for you. When you chose to go to the same college as James, we worried about what would happen if he changed his mind. We worried about you going to a new school by yourself and being bullied. But no matter what, we support your decisions. You haven't done anything wrong. Stuttering is just because you're ill. It's not your fault. By deciding to transfer schools this time, your mom and I think you're very brave." Thinking of my parents' words, it seemed like I had found the courage to argue against James, who was like the best debater. I suppressed the bitterness in my chest and, speaking slowly, still firm, said, "I'm not afraid. Even if they mock me, I'm not scared. I haven't done anything wrong, and I shouldn't feel ashamed of it. James, let's break up. I have never blamed you for this, and you don't have to bear this burden. Maybe it's time for both of us to choose our own new paths." I moved into the new dormitory. Standing in front of the dormitory door, I took a deep breath. I rehearsed the self-introduction I had planned earlier repeatedly. Just as I was mustering the courage to knock, the door in front of me suddenly swung open. A girl holding a thermos looked up in surprise. "Hey, new roommate." Behind her, there seemed to be an unknown creature making a sharp chirping sound. "Boom, you're finally here. I heard from the teacher that you're a big beauty. Quick, why are you standing at the door? Come in. Are you tired from the journey? Why didn't you tell us in advance so we could help you with your luggage?" I was pushed into the dormitory, completely forgetting the self-introduction I had prepared. I just stumbled through the greetings with them. "Hi, everyone." One of my roommates, very familiar, pinched my cheek. Oh my gosh, so cute. I became even more nervous and started stuttering. I am Nina. Anyway, in the future, I hope to get along well with everyone. Is this the beauty? She talks so uniquely. I love it. I'm Susie. This is Jane and Mabel. You haven't eaten, have you? There's a super delicious spicy hot pot on the second floor of the cafeteria. The sauce is so rich. Put your stuff down quickly. Let's go together. Yeah, if you don't like hot pot, we have other recommendations too. Our school cafeteria is famous. After eating, we can show you around the campus. I looked at the eager expressions of the girls in front of me and smiled slightly. It seemed like my new life at the new school wasn't as bad as I had imagined. Well, actually, it was pretty good. The day after I broke up with James, he started dating Fiona. Fiona posted a status on her social media with a photo of their overlapping shadows. Caption, wanting to be intertwined with you every moment. In the following days, Fiona flaunted their relationship frequently, constantly updating posts of the two of them. When Fiona sang, James would be there, patting out a rhythm with an indulgent expression. And when James led the team in other debate competitions, Fiona would dress up delicately, her eyes shining as she cheered loudly from the audience stage. During an interview after a match, the host interviewed Fiona. Your boyfriend is so good at debating. What will you do if you can't win an argument with him in the future? As Fiona looked embarrassed and unsure how to answer, James walked over, holding Fiona's hand with his fingers interlocked, and took the microphone. There's no such thing as her not being able to win an argument with me, because no matter who's at fault between us, I will always listen to her scolding me unconditionally. After saying this, the two shared a smile, looking like a couple deeply in love, no matter who saw them. Fiona extracted this segment of the interview video and posted it on her social media account. In an instant, the popularity of this college couple soared. Fiona wasted no time and moved the sweet moments from her daily life on social media to a network platform. In just a few days, she gained tens of thousands of followers. Many left comments praising the couple's looks, talents, and affectionate moments. Maybe due to some big data reason, Fiona's new video she posted a minute ago was precisely pushed to me. As expected, it was again a lovey-dovey content featuring the couple. I casually opened the comment section, expecting to see more praises, but to my surprise, the top comment was about me. It said, wasn't it said that James's girlfriend was a stutterer? Why did he change girlfriends? My finger scrolled back and forth on the screen, but by the time I hit refresh, the comment was gone. No surprise, it was probably deleted by Fiona. I sighed and decided to log out of my social media account. I didn't want to bother myself with all this attention. I got up and went to the cafeteria with my roommate. I was adapting well to life in the new school. I even shared with my roommate the childhood trauma of stuttering due to the stress of trying to save James. I was prepared for the usual mocking and pity I received from others in the past. But to my surprise, my roommates admired me. Oh my god, Nina, you have such a kind heart. To be in such a rush to save someone. Exactly. Once I heard the full story, I think you are even cooler when you talk. Their encouragement boosted my confidence, and I started to become more outgoing, talking and laughing more often. I even increased the frequency of phone calls to my parents. Each day was getting better, until the day I found out that a video of me being bullied was uploaded online. James and Fiona, the campus couple, were becoming more and more popular online. As a couple blogger, they even received an ad for a couple electric toothbrush. Maybe the people who bullied me before couldn't stand the success. First, they were jealous of me, now they were envious of Fiona. So, in a fit of anger, they posted the video of me being bullied online. They used a random account, and except for me, everyone's voices were altered. The part of me being bullied was cut out, leaving only the part where they called James. It was clear in the video that James hung up my call, but then answered a different unknown number. Fiona's distinctive voice was easily recognized, and the intimate conversation between the two, combined with their current relationship, raised suspicions. This account not only posted the video, but also wrote an article accusing Fiona of interfering in James and my relationship. It said, on the day James won the competition, he brought Fiona to the celebration dinner, and he even rejected Nina's call. As friends of Nina, we couldn't stand by anymore. We hope Fiona will have some shame and break up with James. While James's popularity from the competition was still high, he and Fiona were becoming internet celebrities. The video was immediately shared by many college students and fans. The situation escalated, and Fiona, who used to update her account frequently, went silent that day. I was curious about their next move, until I received a call from James. He said, "Nina, can you please come out with a video and say that you asked me to bring Fiona to the celebration dinner that day?" The dorm was quiet, and I heard myself saying, "Why? Do you know how bad Fiona's condition is now? Besides, we only got together after you and I broke up. How can it be considered Fiona interfering in our relationship? And also, it was your friends who started this mess. I didn't even know when you made friends with these people. That day you even conspired with these people against me." I didn't explain the relationship between me and those people, because as I was talking to James, I heard a voice I was very familiar with from my dorm. It was the voice of me being forced to stutter, while people poured soapy water on me and pulled my hair. Susie was sitting beside me, playing with her phone. When she noticed me looking at her, she tried to quickly turn off the video playing on her phone. Realizing that I had already seen it, she gave up struggling, hugged me with red eyes, and held me tightly. The phone on the table was left on a page titled James's ex-girlfriend being bullied on campus. I didn't know who it was, but someone uploaded the complete video of me being bullied that day. Before, when James and Fiona were trying to prove their innocence, the focus of the public shifted, and someone questioned the video. "It seems like this video has been edited, and doesn't Nina look a bit strange? It looks like she's all wet." "Yeah, and what university student goes to play in the equipment room? Something's fishy, let's look at it again." While they were skeptical, another account posted the full video, claiming that the roommates were the ones who filmed it. They admitted to bullying me in the dorm frequently, and that one night, one of them secretly unlocked their roommate's phone, and shared the video of me being bullied. They thought since my bullying wouldn't get attention, they posted the video of James's ex-girlfriend in hopes that with everyone's help they could also help me break free from being controlled by my roommates. I clicked on the video, seeing it terrified me stuttering and reciting tongue twisters they found online while they laughed along. I was crying in the video, but only I knew that I wasn't crying because of the bullying. I cried because I had already seen my future with James. I watched this video twice in the dorm, and my roommates looked at me, unsure of what to do, until Susie took the phone away from me. She took a look at me, her eyes red. "Nina, don't watch it. We will find out who bullied you. These people are just terrible." Maybe James saw this video too, because right after not answering his call, he messaged me, "Nina, please pick up the phone. I didn't know you were bullied that day. Why didn't you tell me? I wondered why you transferred schools for no reason, and broke up with me. Was it because you were bullied because of me? But even at the new school, you were still being bullied. Come back, okay? I promise to take care of you like before. No, even better." I temporarily blocked his messages, and scrolled through online comments. Sympathy, ridicule, mockery, anger, you name it, they were all there. I told my roommate, "I want to make a video." Since it was night, the lighting in the dorm was not very good. Susie filmed, adjusted the lighting, and Mabel cheered me on. The video was uploaded online the same day. Wearing a dress picked out by my roommates from 4 closets, I smiled slightly at the camera, and began speaking slowly. "My name is Nina. I've had a stutter since I was 9. I don't think it's something to be ashamed of, nor do I think I should be bullied and mocked. On the contrary, I think those who bully me are the ones who are not good. They may look normal on the surface, but their hearts are broken, filthy, and repugnant, enough to make anyone look away in disgust. They are the ones who deserve to be ridiculed and scorned by the world." I used to be afraid to speak, afraid to make friends. I took the malice others directed towards me as something I deserved, punishing myself for their mistakes. But now I understand that the world is big, and some people have small hearts. I still speak haltingly, one word at a time. But so what? It's quite distinctive, isn't it? That's just how Nina speaks. The video stirred up discussions online. In no time, the hashtag "the world is big, but you have small hearts" trended. Many bloggers against discrimination spoke up for me. Everyone shared their experiences of being bullied or discriminated against to some extent in their childhood. When I was young, I often received injections that made me suddenly gain weight due to hormones. I was bullied at school every day and called a fat pig, but I didn't understand. I was just sick, that's all. My mom sells seafood, so I always have a smell of seafood on me from a young age. They named me Stinky Jellyfish, and when the Chinese teacher mentioned the phrase rotten fish and shrimp in class, they would laugh at me. I had an accident when I was young, which resulted in losing both legs. My life was indeed harder than normal people's, and I was also mocked many times. They gave me the nickname Half, saying I wasn't even as tall as a pig. I saw my mom cry in secret more than once. From then on, I made up my mind. Even though I only have half a body, I want to live more dignified than those complete people. Later, I taught myself to dance and could dance better than those who bullied me with just my upper body. I bought a house and insurance for my mom. I feel great about myself. Nina, you're amazing too. Later, the school took action against those who bullied me because of public opinion. And when the storm calmed down for a while, Fiona and James's couple account updated again. Fiona's eyes were red, looking pitiful in her pseudo-natural makeup. First, she clarified that she didn't interfere in James and my relationship. When James and I were together, they had already broken up, so there was no interference issue. I watched Nina's video and also felt sorry for her experience. Then she said, now because of me, their relationship is ruined, but that can't be a reason for everyone to endlessly forgive her. James finally managed to move on. Due to this bullying incident, he was dragged back into the past memories again. He couldn't even eat properly during this time and mentioned breaking up with me. Shouldn't Nina feel guilty about this? This statement was met with ridicule and mockery by netizens. I get you, sis. I'm green tea too. Seriously, does James have any sense of responsibility? Are you talking about him introducing you to teammates and rejecting Nina's call while dating you? It's really cheap and hypocritical. If it wasn't for Nina, your boyfriend would be 6 feet under by now. The netizens were fervent, but there wasn't much solid evidence of James being passionately involved with Fiona while dating me. At that moment, my former roommate stepped forward with proof of Fiona's interference. I'm Nina's former roommate. I saw Fiona kissing James so passionately that her calf lifted up. Yes, I can confirm. That night, Nina came back to the dorm drenched. It should have been the night she was bullied. We went to the playground to exercise and accidentally saw them, probably right after the celebration party. At that time, Nina and James hadn't broken up yet. Netizens became even harsher in their criticisms, and with that, Fiona deactivated her blog account. The previous endorsements she received also released statements saying it affected their corporate image, and they would probably make them pay a hefty sum. James still persistently called me. I never answered. Later, I saw him at the school gate. It had been a long time, and he looked a bit haggard. After seeing me, his mouth opened without speaking. I broke the silence first. James, is there something you want to say? He stayed silent for a while, his eyes red, and said, Nina, I was wrong. That night, I originally wanted to accompany her back to the dorm, but she suddenly talked about the trauma she suffered from her biological family. I felt sorry for her and went to the playground with her. She kissed me, and I pushed her away. I waved my hand, indicating that I didn't care about all this. As I was about to walk past him, he grabbed my arm and with a hint of crying in his voice, said, Nina, I used to think that I could only protect you when I was by your side, but I never thought that the ones who hurt you the most were the people I found and reported to the school for bullying you. They are getting ready to leave. Of course, Fiona and I will also face consequences. I don't know if you'll be happy to hear this news. I shook my head and pulled my arm away. James chuckled self-deprecatingly and said, You're right. Your world is big. It's my heart that's too small. He tried to plead, Nina, do we really have no future? I know love is out of the question, but isn't there still family between us? I interrupted him, James. Do you know when I was most disappointed in you? Not when you were bullied and I hung up on you. Not then. It was when you said if I didn't accept Fiona, you wouldn't accept me. I know why you said that. You thought I couldn't leave you, so you took advantage of that to bully me. James' face grew paler, as if he sensed something, taking a step forward, seemingly trying to stop me from saying the next thing. But I continued, James, we can't go back. Whether it's family or love, or the childhood friendship, we can't go back. After I finished my long string of words, James still hadn't reacted and just stood there blankly. It was my roommates who were more concerned about me being hurt. They suddenly cheered as Jane came over and hugged me, followed by others. I looked at their tearful faces in confusion. Nina, your speech just now was so coherent. I suddenly realized that my words had flowed smoothly without any stuttering or repetition. I smiled contentedly, hugged my roommates, and walked side by side with them, facing the breeze stride by stride. At that moment, I felt like I had traveled back to the summer of my childhood, hearing my 9-year-old self saying, James, you go on your own. I'm not going with you. Goodbye, James.